Pain in the eyes is a silent scream, a river that flows without a sound. It hides behind forced smiles and lives in the corners of tired lashes. Pain in the eyes is not always tears. Sometimes it is dryness, sometimes a stare lost in distance, sometimes a blink that carries a lifetime. The eyes learn to lie before the lips do. They learn how to hold storms. They learn how to carry grief like a secret letter, never opened, never sent. Pain in the eyes is the shadow of memories, walking behind every moment of joy. It whispers during laughter, "Do not forget what broke you." There are nights when the eyes refuse sleep, because dreams are too honest, because memories become louder in darkness, because pain finds courage in silence. Pain in the eyes is the language of the heart, when the heart is too tired to speak, when the heart has been wounded too many times, when the heart has lost the art of hope. You can hide scars on the skin, you can hide weakness in your voice, but the eyes betray everything. They leak truth in every glance. Pain in the eyes is the echo of lost love, the footprint of someone who left, the empty space where a smile used to live, the cold seat beside a warm memory. Sometimes the eyes look strong, but strength is only a mask. Behind it lives a fragile soul, trembling in quiet corners. Pain in the eyes is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is simple, like waiting for a message that never comes, like calling a name that no longer answers. The eyes remember what the mind tries to forget. They remember voices, they remember promises, they remember the way happiness once felt. Pain in the eyes grows with time, like a tree fed by regret, like a wound fed by silence, like a fire fed by lonely thoughts. There are smiles painted on lips, but the eyes remain honest. They carry the weight of unsaid words. They carry the dust of broken dreams. Pain in the eyes is the funeral of expectations, where hope is buried without a crowd, where dreams are lowered into dark soil, where no one brings flowers. Every blink is a prayer, every tear is a confession, every stare is a question, every look is a story. Pain in the eyes does not ask for sympathy, it only asks to be seen, to be understood, to be held without questions. Some eyes have learned to drown quietly, so no one hears the splashes, so no one rushes to save, so no one feels responsible. Pain in the eyes is the art of pretending, pretending that everything is fine, pretending that the heart is not bleeding, pretending that loneliness is a choice. When the world celebrates, the eyes mourn. When the world laughs, the eyes remember. When the world moves on, the eyes stay behind, tied to yesterday. Pain in the eyes is the price of deep feeling, of loving too much, of trusting too easily, of hoping too sincerely. Some eyes are oceans, deep and dark and endless. They hide wrecked ships of relationships and drowned letters of love. Pain in the eyes is the bruise of the soul, invisible to the world, but heavy inside, but tender to touch. There are people who ask, "Are you okay?" And the eyes answer before the mouth does, with a flicker, with a hesitation, with a truth too heavy to explain. Pain in the eyes is a quiet rebellion against fate, against destiny, against the unfairness of love. Sometimes the eyes look at the sky, not for stars, not for beauty, but to keep tears from falling. Pain in the eyes is the museum of losses. Every glance is an exhibit. Every tear is a label. Every memory is a frame. The eyes have seen too much, failed too much, lost too much, and yet they continue. Pain in the eyes is exhaustion, not of the body, but of the soul, tired of being strong. Some eyes are prisons, where sadness is locked inside, where hope is kept in chains, where joy is questioned. Pain in the eyes is the shadow of who we were and the fear of who we might become. It stands between past and future, whispering doubts. There are mornings when the mirror hurts, because the eyes look older, heavier, more tired than yesterday. Pain in the eyes is the residue of goodbye, the dust left after love leaves, the echo left after promises break, the silence left after trust dies. The eyes are brave, brave enough to carry secrets, brave enough to hold pain, brave enough to keep going. Pain in the eyes is a storm without rain, thunder without sound, lightning without light, chaos without movement. Some eyes smile for others and cry for themselves. They give warmth while freezing inside. Pain in the eyes is the hunger for understanding, the thirst for comfort, the ache for belonging, the need to be chosen. Even in crowds, the eyes feel alone. Even in noise, the eyes hear silence. Even in light, the eyes see darkness. Even in love, the eyes fear loss. Pain in the eyes is the diary no one reads, the letter no one opens, the song no one hears, the story no one asks for. And still the eyes keep looking, looking for hope, looking for peace, looking for a reason to believe again. Pain in the eyes is a road with no signs, where every step feels uncertain, where every turn leads back to memories, where every destination feels empty. The eyes learn to survive on fragments, fragments of smiles, fragments of laughter, fragments of a love that once lived. Pain in the eyes is the echo of a voice, calling from the past, soft, familiar, and impossible to reach. Some eyes are tired of hoping, tired of waiting, tired of believing in miracles, tired of being patient. Pain in the eyes is the art of endurance, enduring distance, enduring silence, enduring the absence of what mattered most. The eyes count losses like stars, too many to number, too many to forget, too many to replace. Pain in the eyes is the weight of unspoken words, words trapped behind pride, words buried under fear, words never given a chance to live. There are glances that carry apologies, and stares that carry regret, and looks that carry love, and blinks that carry goodbye. Pain in the eyes is a slow burning fire, not loud, not violent, but endlessly consuming. The eyes remember the first touch, the first smile, the first promise, and they also remember the last. Pain in the eyes is the pause before tears, the hesitation before breaking, the silence before collapsing, the breath before surrender. Some eyes are libraries of pain, shelves full of chapters, pages full of scars, stories full of endings. Pain in the eyes is the fear of replacement, the fear of being forgotten, the fear of becoming a memory, the fear of not being enough. The eyes search faces in crowds, hoping to find a familiar soul, hoping to find a lost connection, hoping to find a reason to smile. Pain in the eyes is the loneliness of understanding. When you know too much, when you feel too deeply, when you see too clearly, there are nights when the eyes stare at ceilings, counting cracks like regrets, tracing shadows like mistakes, listening to silence like a confession. Pain in the eyes is the fatigue of pretending, pretending to be strong, pretending to be okay, pretending to be healed. Some eyes are oceans after storms, calm on the surface, broken beneath, carrying wreckage in their depths. Pain in the eyes is the bruise of betrayal, the sting of lies, the cut of abandonment, the ache of disappointment. The eyes hold on even when the hands let go. They remember even when the mind forgets. They feel even when the heart is numb. They hope even when hope is tired. Pain in the eyes is the shadow of laughter, always following, always watching, always waiting. Some eyes are tired of goodbyes, tired of endings, tired of losing people, tired of starting again. Pain in the eyes is the hunger for peace, the craving for rest, the desire for quiet happiness, the dream of a gentle life. The eyes have seen promises break, dreams fade, love leave, and yet they remain open. Pain in the eyes is the courage to continue, even when the path is dark, even when the heart is heavy, even when the soul is wounded. There are eyes that forgive, even when they are hurt, even when they are tired, even when they are breaking. Pain in the eyes is the scar of deep attachment, of loving without limits, of giving without measure, of trusting without walls. The eyes whisper stories to the night, stories of longing, stories of loss, stories of love that never died. Pain in the eyes is the echo of unanswered prayers, the silence after calling for help, the emptiness after hoping for change, the stillness after crying out. Some eyes carry childhood wounds, old and heavy, hidden and forgotten, but never healed. Pain in the eyes is the reflection of inner wars, battles no one sees, fights no one knows, victories no one celebrates. The eyes are brave soldiers, fighting without weapons, enduring without rest, surviving without applause. Pain in the eyes is the quiet dignity of suffering, the strength of staying, the courage of enduring, the honor of not giving up. There are looks that beg, and stares that plead, and glances that pray, and eyes that surrender. Pain in the eyes is the soft cry of the soul, heard only by the heart, felt only in silence, known only by the broken. Some eyes are tired of explanations, tired of questions, tired of being misunderstood, tired of being strong. Pain in the eyes is the dust of shattered dreams, the remains of lost futures, the ashes of burnt hopes, the ruins of imagined tomorrows. The eyes still search for light, even in dark rooms, even in closed doors, even in empty spaces. Pain in the eyes is the loyalty to memories, refusing to forget, refusing to replace, refusing to move on. There are eyes that smile for the world, but cry for the past, laugh for the present, but ache for what was. Pain in the eyes is the price of depth, of feeling beyond surface, of loving beyond reason, of caring beyond limits. The eyes are homes for lost feelings, shelters for broken hopes, graves for dead dreams, and cradles for fragile faith. Pain in the eyes is the silence between.